So, hello friends, Kuyan here, and today we're going to react on something I tend to like watch this channel. It's a very amazing channel, by the way. You should check it out, called Good News. Today I'm going to react on your monthly dose of good news on September. I usually love watching this. I basically just download the video and watch it on VLC here on my computer because I don't want to waste a lot of my data bandwidth on my cell phone. So
just achieved an insane new world record for internet speed. In
that
Southeast
is
Asia's
fast.
Coral Triangle, researchers have discovered 2 new animal species.
Oh,
And in the US, doctors have just performed the nation's first fully robotic heart transplant. Hi guys,
that is
I'm
so
Freddy,
crazy.
and this is part 1 of our monthly dose of good news.
Expecting more.
Let's start off with good news in Arizona, where the governor has
Arizona.
just erased $500 million in medical debt for thousands of people.
That's
The
sweet.
most recent numbers show Arizona has around $2.4 billion in unpaid medical bills.
Damn.
And like everywhere in the USA, healthcare is pretty expensive in Arizona. To give you an idea, just calling an ambulance can cost you about $3,000. Last
What?
year, Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs launched an initiative to help with this.
This always makes me confused too. Like, why are all of your medical stuff there in the US is pretty expensive? I think even mostly here in the Philippines too, it's always expensive. I don't know why healthcare is always that expensive. Where are all our taxes came from? Where are we even paying stuff? I thought this will always go to the healthcare and stuff to hopefully make it free.
She pledged to erase $2 billion worth of medical debt for up to 1 million people in Arizona. And recently, she began fulfilling on that promise. Hobbs has announced that $429 million in medical debt has been wiped out for more than 352,000 people.
Yeah, sweet. Almost $500 million. Crazy. Think about that. If every time I am a Filipino, like a Gen Z Filipino, every time I heard about the US, they never talk 1,000, 10,000. They always tell about the billions or the millions and stuff, 100 millions.
But how did she do this? Well, she's collaborating with a national non-profit called Undo Medical Debt. This charity buys medical debt from hospitals, but instead of collecting it, they forgive it. For example, if someone has $10,000 in medical debt, the hospital might sell it for only $100.
The one thing that I do hate is this shouldn't just, this shouldn't exist. The main reason why, because that should exist in the first place. Medical should be free. It should be a human right. Like water and food. You're really going to make people they don't have any type of free healthcare? Crazy.
Because they know they will never get the full amount back. And this way, they can at least recover a little bit. The non-profit buys this debt with donated money. And instead of collecting it,
Man, why not just tax money, It's kind of sad,
they
man.
erase it. That means a $100 donation could potentially wipe out $10,000 in medical debt. And it's also been a good month for Arizona's neighbor California, where solar has become the largest source of energy. California is famously a pretty sunny place. Yet for the past decade or so,
Beautiful.
natural gas has been the top source of power. Over that same period though, solar has slowly been catching up. And now it's finally taking the top spot. Across the year,
Whoa.
solar power currently makes up 33.9% of the
That is
state's
a lot.
electricity.
I kind of thought gas is pretty much harmless from the environment, I guess, but I guess in this case it's not.
While gas only
Because I always thought it's just gas, you just burn it in the atmosphere and just gas can just be flammable and that's it. I think what I assume. I may be missing some stuff there, but I'm pretty sure they're potentially also harmful from the environment.
contributes about 33.3%. The main reason for this is the installation of high-capacity batteries that are able to store more solar power than before. Battery storage has also been a focus in India, which has already hit 50% of its 2030 energy goal. To see why this is big and good news, let's go back just 3 years, to 2022. That year, India failed to achieve its aim of installing 175 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity. In response, they began heavily investing in solar and wind power and battery technology. And they also set a new target. By 2030, they want to have 500 gigawatts of clean power. And now, just 3 years later, they've already built up to around 240 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel generation.
Also nuclear. Nuclear is also pretty safe, as I've heard. I don't know pretty much about nuclear. I all know that they explode and stuff.
Which means India's back on track. And if they continue this trend, there's a good chance they will reach their 2030 goal. Now let's talk about how Japanese scientists have broken the world record for internet.
And I wish we have this type of like internet, especially here in my area, you know, because I really need internet, man. I need to upload videos. I need to download stuff. I need to download some applications. And I love testing like my computer stuff because I learn coding in my college right now. So it's pretty good to test like a lot of, I guess, technologies that been uploaded through the internet, sharing some code and stuff. It's kind of crazy like how amazing the internet is today. Yeah, it's kind of crazy like a lot of people really take it for granted, you know, because if they're gone, man, there's gonna be a lot of trouble in the world. But I really just love like how much humanity as a whole just really improve on a lot of stuff, you know, and we're kind of living mostly relatively the most peaceful era of our time, mostly, especially not talking about the Ukraine stuff too, and like some civil wars and stuff. But yeah, hopefully all things are good. Hopefully.
At speed. And before I show you how they've not just broken it, but absolutely smashed it, I quickly want to thank Delete Me for sponsoring
come on.
this video.
There's an ad.
In some bad cases, people even get Delete Me shows me exactly where my data. Over 400 can now get 20% world record for internet speed. Go to joindeleteme.com/goodnews and use promo code goodnews.
I finally like skip pretty much of the ad.
Check out. And now, let's see how Japan just broke the world record for internet speed. The previous record for internet speed, set last year, was around 50,000 gigabytes per second.
Bro, here it's like 50 gigabytes a second. That's how slow here. I'm pretty sure it doesn't even get to 50 gigabytes. I think it's like 1 millibytes a second. As I've like do my speed test, sometimes 2 to 1 megabytes per second. That's how
Scientists
awful.
from Japan just achieved an insane 125,000
Crazy.
gigabytes per second. That would even allow you to download Warzone in less than 1 hour, or the entire internet in less than 4 minutes. It's also 4 million times faster than the average speed in the USA. So, how did they do it? The secret to their success is a new type of fiber optic cable. It is about as thick as a normal fiber optic cable, but the big difference is that it is 19 times more powerful.
Usually, I've learned, friends, I think fiber optic cables are usually just light passing through the cable. That's why we have like extremely fast internet nowadays. It's just data through like these light signals and all of like computers, you know, because all computers are just servers, basically. Well, the entirety of the internet is just servers with, you know, data of someone else's computer, basically.
That's because it contains 19 separate fibers packed into one. To understand why this is so quick, let's briefly talk about how these cables actually work. They transmit data using LED light.
Yes.
After a certain distance, however, the signal weakens. When this happens, a device called a fiber optic amplifier boosts the signal. But it is really difficult to do this with multiple fibers. That's because it can lead to interference, which weakens the signal. But the cable used for the new world record does not experience this. And that's because a newly invented smart amplification system removes all interference.
Nice.
Data traffic is obviously expected to massively rise in the coming years.
Yeah, it is the same as like, you know, the internet nowadays, and especially in today's humanity now. I think things are just like speeding up most of the time in our world. I hope that it is. And especially like progression through like technology, and doing the Porky Pig and stuff like through my math. I'm really just like getting rusty with my English right now. And pretty not so hard for me to think words. But yeah, it's pretty, it's kind of, let's just play the video.
And this little cable could be the key to keeping up with the future demand. Next up, we have some medical good news. And we start off with a kind of strange one, because scientists have just beamed light through a man's head for the very first time ever. This sentence may have hurt your brain.
It's just like I guess, shining light or lasers to the
So
brain.
allow me to explain. It all has to do with non-invasive brain imaging. Brain imaging is a crucial tool we use to diagnose and monitor neurological conditions. At the moment, the best technology we have for this are MRI machines.
Basically, I think this is magnetic resonance imaging. They kind of like, as your blood has iron on it, they usually like detect the magnetic stuff on the iron of your blood.
They can help us to see what's going on in the deepest layers of our brain.
Yep.
The thing is though, these machines are super expensive and require a lot of space.
Yeah.
A smaller, cheaper and more portable alternative is this device. In a typical procedure, the patient attaches this device to their head and it lasers invisible near-infrared light into their brain. The light detects neurological activity, which is then represented on a 3D, heat-sensitive map of the brain. The main problem with this method, though, is that it can only analyze a few centimeters down before losing range. This means it can easily miss crucial information. Scientists in Scotland, however, have just made promising steps towards improving this method. They have been able to shine light from one side of the brain to the other. They did this by making the infrared light stronger and improving how light was detected when it reached the other side of the head. Now, the process was by no means perfect. Only a tiny amount of light managed to penetrate through the complete mixture of the brain. That's besides the point though. The exciting bit is that this technique can go even deeper than previously thought. And if further developed, it's possible that one day big high-cost MRI machines could be totally replaced. From a world's first to a national first, because US surgeons have completed the first ever heart transplant using robotics. Getting a heart transplant is probably the most invasive type of surgery. That's because doctors have to split the breastbone to gain access to the heart. And this means the chest wall of the patient is pretty much destroyed in the process. Thankfully though, a much more delicate approach has been developed with the help of robotics. And this was proven by a first successful case in Saudi Arabia in 2024. And now, it was also performed for the first time in the USA on a 45-year-old patient. The procedure involved an advanced surgical robot called an advanced Da Vinci system. And first, the human operator controlling it made a small, precise 12.7 centimeter incision just above the belly button. Then, moving underneath the breastbone and guided.
I do love like how they used to animate this like procedure because it's pretty hard to like view this on a video, and especially it's pretty graphic. So it's kind of cool like we see the animation and stuff and presentation from this video. Pretty good job by Good News.
Cameras, the faulty heart was removed and replaced with the help of these robotic arms. All of this happened without any damage to the chest wall. Impressively, the patient was out of the hospital only 1 month later. Since his chest wasn't broken, he experienced a much smoother recovery. Okay, and now some good news for women. Because a quick, pain-free breast imaging system has shown promise in early clinical trials. Breast cancer is the most common form of cancer affecting women. And at the moment, the best way to catch it early is through a technique called mammography.
Yeah, sad. Like, cancer for women, like having this like breast cancer is fairly common for them. And it's kind of sad, like it's pretty natural to like, you can just like get it when you grow up someday, I think. And you can just catch this type of like cancer and stuff. It's pretty extremely deadly. It's so sad.
This is when a patient's breast is placed on a support plate and compressed. Then a small concentration of X-rays is released, and this is then analyzed for any signs of cancer. But apparently, this is not very comfortable and can cause a lot of pain. Another problem is that it doesn't work very well for women who have denser breast tissue. But a new technique, developed by researchers of the University of Buffalo, may have just shown the way forward. The new system is called One Touch PET. And just like the name suggests, all a patient has to do is to gently press their chest one time against an imaging window. The machine uses a combination of ultrasound and photoacoustic imaging. Both are less affected by tissue density. Ultrasound is used to detect any areas of concern, while the photoacoustic imager is then applied to map out any blood vessel growth around the region of concern. That's because blood vessels grow more in cancerous tissue. The result is an incredibly clear 3D scan that can map out all of the most common types of breast cancer. So far, they've only tried this out on about 65 women. But they're going to expand the trial soon. And we will let you know about any updates.
Yeah, cancer is really just a motherfucker, huh? They really just like try to be invasive in your body. But at least they're now promising studies to hopefully detect them earlier as possible, to hopefully remove as early as possible. And amazing technology.
Okay, let's finish the medical good news with a new blood test that predicts multiple sclerosis years before symptoms appear. Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a truly terrible disease that damages the nervous system. Nerves carry signals between the brain and the body.
I'm pretty sure this is some kind of autoimmune disease too, like where your immune system attacks your own like nervous system, which makes you paralyzed.
Allowing us to move, feel, and even breathe. And because they are so essential, most nerve fibers are shielded
Really, I didn't know that sclerosis can also like stop you from breathing, so it can kill you.
by a
Interesting.
protective layer called myelin. Like the sleeve of a t-shirt, this layer wraps around the nerves to provide essential protection. If you have MS, however, the immune system starts attacking this protective layer.
Yeah.
This causes permanent damage to the nerves, and with enough time, patients can lose their ability to move. In the last 5 years, studies have proven that MS is triggered by a virus called EBV. If you have EBV, chances are that within the next 5 to 10 years, you will develop MS. And scientists in Austria have used these fresh insights
It seems like this is not an immune system of some sort. It seems like an immune response against a virus. In some cases, because of Epstein-Barr virus, it seems like.
to create a new blood test that can detect MS years before any symptoms appear. It detects something called autoantibodies, which are associated with EBV. These can be identified within 3 years after initial EBV infection. Constantly monitoring these antibody levels with a new test means that later MS diagnosis can be predicted years in advance. And in turn, this allows for more effective management of the disease when it eventually appears. And before we continue, if you're needing a weekly dose of good news, make sure to subscribe.
I don't know they upload stuff on a weekly basis.
And by the way, thank you for all of these comments. We love reading them, and it really keeps us motivated to make more videos.
And I guess that's the end of the video, friends. Oh, no, it's not the end of the video. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. This ain't right. That's full screen. They're just like trying to
But in
promote
Asia,
their videos.
sea slugs are found in oceans worldwide.
Whoa!
These
That is one beautiful sea slugs. That is crazy.
colorful sea creatures play a really important role in underwater
Also pretty adorable too.
ecosystems.
I don't know what they even
They
do.
feed on algae and seaweed, which stops overgrowth. And they serve as a tasty snack for fish, crabs, and lobsters. A
Yeah.
large population of sea slugs lives in what's known as the Coral Triangle, situated in Southeast Asia. This marine paradise
There's my country, friends. Philippines. The upper part of the Coral Triangle. That's my country. And yes, there are sea slugs here. It's kind of weird because they also like squirt seawater whenever they're threatened. We actually got a sea slug where my dad just like pointed and just like squirts the seawater. It's kind of weird. Very, very weird. I kind of like very sad about it because they capture the sea slugs. I just like pick the sea slugs and throw it back to the ocean so that hopefully it can, live its life to its fullest, I guess, and be eaten by the predators in the sea and, life cycle and stuff. So,
is
yeah.
also known as the Amazon of the seas. And that's no
Amazon.
exaggeration. It's the largest network of marine protected areas on Earth. And it's home to 76% of all world's coral species, as well as 3/4 of all mollusk species. So
interesting.
it may not come as a surprise that 2 new types of sea slug have just been discovered there. The first one has vibrant strips of orange, black, and white. And the second one has a unique set of lumps
The other one seems to be like a bread of some sort.
that look a little bit like sunny side up fried eggs.
Yeah.
That's why researchers decided to call it this.
Ovada?
Ovata literally means egg-shaped in Latin.
Ah.
Okay, and that's it for today's video. I will be back soon with another
yeah.
dose of good news, and in the meantime, make sure to leave your feedback in the comments below.
It's kind of sweet, like a lot of good news has really just been like very interesting, you know what I mean? Like how do you even like feel to watch like good news video like this in the in the internet? It's like it really gives you a lot lot more positive feeling, you know what I mean? It's really gives you like a little bit of hope, especially in today's like world of all of like full of bad news. It's really just like not good for your mental health, man. So listening to a little bit of good news, I guess once in a while, that hopefully it will bring you, you know, a lot of that good feelings, you know, that healthy stuff. And I also want to read a lot of like comments below in this video. I'm going to like try to do this more in my videos, to like reading video. The good thing is like I always save videos on my browser, even though I download the video on my Linux's on my computer's stuff. So here I'm going to like record. So here I'm going to like just read a lot of, you know, comments within this video, friends. So here, Warzone is less than 1 hour. The entire internet in 4 minutes. It's kind of crazy to even think of that. Like video games nowadays are even like larger rather than like the internet itself as a whole. That is kind of crazy to even download like video games in an hour, while if you want to download the entire internet, it just took like 4 minutes. Crazy. Warzone is 15 times bigger than the entire internet. Confirmed. Well, this is a joke. Oh, that was a joke? Oh, come on, man. I always thought that this was a good news, you know, and new stuff. Hopefully they just disclaimer that like, hey, that was just a joke, you know. Because I always thought that, you know, I believe in that. That's kind of crazy. Shouldn't calling an ambulance be free? Yeah, that would be the thing. That's also what I think about the video. I could have thought like, not only ambulance, but healthcare should be a freedom thing, you know? It should be a human right. Please. Why do you even pay taxes? Yeah, why do you even pay taxes for money for emergency? This is ridiculous. Hey, I agree. This man is onto something. This guy is really on something, man. Because I completely agree on his like statement. So refreshing. You need to see good news. Yeah, when the world is full of bad news, it's really just like really pleasant to like really watch all of these videos, and also reading a lot of comments too, like these people. I don't know why. This is why I also want to like make like ending in comments, and hopefully like reacting to like comments and reading stuff too, because it's just kind of cool to like see what people really think, you know. Also, you know, leave your comments below, and hopefully I can like read and reply and stuff, so that hopefully I can just, you know, have some fun reading comments. It's so fun to like have your ideas to be open. So here's the video by Clover5. I seen the TED Talk at least 10 years ago. A woman has been found a way to breast imagery to detect cancer. So that was pain-free and was available to deal with dense breasts. God damn, that has to be a big breast, right? And nobody was listening to her or fund her. Oh, that's so sad. I don't know if the science failed or how things play out, but I'm glad the solution is rising up again. So thanks for this good news. I don't know, maybe it's misinformation. There may be like, I mean, if it's from the TED Talk, hopefully they have like, yes, have a good source from getting their news and stuff. But hey, at least there's good news to have like more ways to, yes, analyze like women's breasts, and ways to hopefully detect cancers in an earlier stage, you know, so that hopefully they can remove it as early as possible. So yeah, friends, I guess that's the end of the video for now, and thank you for watching. Hopefully you can leave a like, subscribe to my video, and good evening, friends.